YouTube, welcome to part 3 of my Judge Death thing. While here I'm trying to put this bit of foam in behind these pickups while doing introductions for the video of me, can you put a fuzz pedal in a bass and should you, and can I put it in this bass. And there is a live stream which I'll put live, which I've made private or made unlisted so it doesn't ruin the surprise. You have to wait till the end of these videos. I think they're looking like there's going to be 4 of them now, about 15 minutes long. So, in the story of yesterday, me hacking away at this bass, I've just come back from the garage after I've kind of started gouging a hole, and then I've been drilling holes in a metal plate. Exciting. Enjoy. So, now cut the holes for the thing. I'm still looking for another drill bit, so I've kind of matched them up. I need a bigger one to do for the stomp switch, put it in there, but that's basically going on that way. I don't think the stomp's going to get in the way. But yeah, should be enough room for play. Yeah, what I did was I clamped the two of these together to use it as a template, and then had a clamp on the side of the bench when I was drilling it. This is great metal to use. It's pure cheap. It's from an East Coast wee 10 watt amp. It just didn't work, so I kind of ended up with a chassis. Handy things. I think I'm going to turn this into my doorbell as well. That'd be pretty cool, eh? See you next time I'm back. Should probably take the GoPro out to the garage. Can't be bothered. Right, so now I spent more time trying to find a drill bit more than anything else. So now we have our metal plate, which I've not even tried putting on to see what it looks like. Oh. Gonna be good. And obviously it fits on like so. You might do it that way. I decided it looks better with the shading at this end. Yeah, so I suppose I'm going to have a wee go at maybe try and file down some of these rough ends with a wee shitty file, with a rounded file. I do these wee crappy ones that everybody's got. Just get a wee bit more in it. Then I suppose, I don't know if I really want to be building this quite yet. I might put a couple of washers on just to hold it together. I think I'm going to have to take it to bits. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the bottom of the fuzz pedal yet, with these sockets, because I mean it's like, annoyingly you can't really take off the PCB because the switch is attached to it, and it's like there's these connectors here to connect the two. There's like two PCBs. Everything's on this one. There's actually a shitload in this as well. Look at the amount of stuff in that. Look at the number of caps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is no simple fuzz circuit. That's maybe why it sounds quite good. I know probably some of the bits are made up of 5 NAND gates instead of 1. You know what I mean? I know that. I know there's ways of doing these things. Make things cheaper. It's easier to make it out of 5 components if you make all the components the same than it is to make it out of 1. But that's an individual secret component. I've been told there's no such thing as AND gates and OR gates, and hasn't been for years, because you just make NAND gates, and you can make anything out of the. You just use 3 or 4 of them to make an OR or a NAND, or NOR, and can all be made with a couple of NANDs. So what's the point in making them when you can just make NANDs? I don't mean scratching the back, I don't want to scratch the front though. It looks cool. Yeah, one of the principles about this guitar is I'm not doing damage to it to make it look cool. If it's easier, like basically this was the first piece of metal I cut out, so that's fine. I didn't intentionally choose this piece. So anything that's better or quicker, but nothing, and it might look cool, you know, using bits of old amps and stuff like that, but there's, you know, they're justifiable in the Mad Max world. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether I should cut these off or not, or just route out and just make it so they fit in. Thing is, if I make it so they fit in, I can pretty much just make the pedal. I'm not breaking the pedal. Put it back together again and still have a fuzz pedal. It's only a tenner or so, who cares? See you in the next snippet. Hey, snippet number whatever teen. So, time is ticking. So there we go. That is where the pedal goes. I just hacked and slashed and forced and bitted my way out. Eventually decided it was easier just to snip off the ends of these with the angle grinder than actually taking them off or routing better. This is a Mark 1 thing. So now what I've got to do is, I suppose I've got to drill. I'm now just thinking about it. I'm actually going to try and find that. Where's the other screw hole for this? There. I want to see how it lines up. So if that's there and that's there, that's it lined up. That line there looks pretty damn straight to me. That's going to look fine. That orange thing's putting it off, but that should be alright on the bridge. Although it looks like I've encroached on the bridge. As I said, the bridge was there, so I want to move it back to there. Just to give me a little bit more leeway with the intonation. A wee bit more than that. I'm not really that bored if you can see. Well, that's not even a route. So I can move right back to there. Put a big fucking screw in there to get to the bottom. Rerouted it out from the top. Yes, I think I'm going to do that. There's so many projects. There's so many things I want to do to this base, but I've got to do it in the right order. So that's in. Tick that off. Work out how I'm going to how I'm going to solder onto the connections later. I don't know. I'm not bothering making this neat and tidy routing. I don't give a fuck. It's mine. I might even wrap it in. No, I won't. Is that up here? Yeah, I could foil, put the gold foil around the inside and shield the whole cavity. No, because if you've got a shielded cavity, the chances of that touching something, well, there's not really anything for it to be touched, to be fair. I'm just sitting there, if you're thinking about a printed circuit board, I got a big shield all over it, just like this goes down and touches and shorts everything out. So I need to drill a hole from there to there, from there to here. I need to just now put the battery pack in, and it's going to be brutal. Because I can't be bothered doing it. I've already spent ages doing this. So the battery pack is going to be going, what do you reckon, about there? Oh, I think the pencil's already through there. I'm thinking the battery pack, kind of that sort of bit, because that's a sort of useless bit of guitar. I don't want to be too far away from this route though. There. So that I don't have to, there even, there. There, is that going to get in the way when you're playing it? Yeah, never, no chance. I reckon somewhere around about there, because that's actually in below. That means I don't need to drill a hole through. You can actually get to the battery from inside the jazz bass if you want. Yes. No, I can't be bothered doing that. I'm sitting there going, I could recess the back plate. Can't be arsed doing that. So, yeah, there's a project. So I'm still hopeful for getting this running, but it's now 3 o'clock. So the 4-hour tick has gone on. I'm going to have a break right now and have a fag. I'm also going to have something to eat. I'm going to generally piss about. I need to go to the shop and get some more booze. Not that I've been on the booze already, honestly, Gov. I've got half a bottle of Bucky sitting there. Half a bottle's not enough. Didn't want to buy a full bottle because then I've got a bottle and a half, so I'm going to buy a couple of cans of Lidl cider. I started going to Lidl earlier on and I didn't have my phone in my pocket. I was out in the car, went to get tobacco, and so I'll go to Lidl and get some food. And it's like, oh no, I got a message saying something about getting a free baguette or a free Chelsea bun. So I'll need my... I just abandoned it at a 3-point turn and came home. Okay, I'll see you in the next segment when this should all be working, and I don't really care. It was going to work in some registration. I'm working, doing all these physical things like digging holes. Had to do that anyway. So it's going to work in whatever capacity it ends up working. What annoying, well, I don't know, how well will it be working? Will it be fully working it'll not be fully working by the live stream because I've not decided what I'm doing with some of the stuff, but it'll be fully working as in it'll do half a dozen things that it's meant to do. It just won't do the 10 things I want it to do yet. Right, so that took about 2 minutes. Zip, 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 Forstner bit, battery. So, disaster though. I was a wee bit smart. I changed my mind at the last second. I drew a square and I went, no, I'll move it there. I hit the pickup. So I don't know what the damage is yet. It does mean I don't need to drill a hole to get from the battery to the fuzz pedal. But There was an issue with this pickup anyway. I had damaged it. Well, it's like, that'll be what I hit. These, I kind of, this pickup, this one's alright, but this pickup, it was kind of right at the very tip. It was only just catching, and it's ideally if you wanted to raise it, it would just disconnect. So it looks like, I suppose, like the pickups are coming out then, doesn't it? Because what I'm going to do is, assuming I haven't just burst this, which would be a shame if I had, because it's quite good. Nah, I don't think I've hit in. I've damaged the cover, but not the actual pickup. How am I going to do? What am I going to do? I think what I'm going to do is I'll just fit a wee piece of wood in there so the pickups do have to come out, annoyingly. You just need to remember which one's which. Note these pickups go this way, whereas a normal P-base they go that way. That was intentional. There we go. So they went like that. So if I leave them sitting like that on the pick, I don't know where I am. Right, so there's my problem there. We've gone through, so I need to run the wires. So I need to put a piece. Just basically, I need a wee piece of wood that I'll just stick in there, which will give. It means that there'll be more room for the pickup, because this is a jazz bass pickup, so it's obviously different. That's how deep you want it there for the P bass, and it's obviously it was too deep. So there we go. So the battery. Where's the connector? I'm sure I brought it through. There's the battery, there's the connector. So the connector wires go through there. Battery sits in there, maybe put a wee bit of foam on it. There's the bit of the amp I was talking about. That's what I used for the top bit. So I'll probably just leave it saying input and overdrive, because that sounds quite cool. In fact, I'll leave it there. You can actually see that it says Duracell. That's where the battery is. So I'll just put a screw in there, screw in there. I might file the edges so it doesn't catch in your jumper, but that's about it. Yeah, input and overdrive. Better as well have them written on the back. See you in the next bit. I'm not going to let this defeat me. Going to work. Tongue depressors. Stuck them in there. I need to snap off this top one, but they're glued onto that bit. And then inside they're glued onto that bit, just super glued together. Gives me something to screw the screw into. I've not made sure I haven't burst the pickup yet, but I don't. All I've done is rip the plastic bit at the edge off, and this is a beat up guitar, so I don't care. As long as it functions, and that's the battery box, nearly there then. Annoyingly, I put those bits in, the battery doesn't quite go deep enough, so as I'm saying, I need to snap one of these off, or maybe two of them off, to get it tight, and then drill a couple of holes in that, and that's the battery sorted. I'm not going to worry about that just now. Even just a bit of black tape would do that. But that's quite cool. Okay. Still on target. Yeah, so I'm at the stage now. I had to put more lollipop sticks in, so the pickups now sit nice and level. Like I said, I wanted it at that level. But I'm just going to foil it. I wouldn't normally do. I've done it. I mean, obviously the most expensive guitars I have, I've kind of get Faraday cages and stuff in them for interference. It wouldn't normally bother me with a bass like this, but it's got a fuzz pedal in it, so probably good idea. Just any shieldings. Shielding definitely doesn't hurt, so it must make it better. It's going to be quite interesting looking foily thing. It might have some holes in it. I don't know how the hell did I do that shape? Just forget about the side fact, just get sides. Yeah, I'll do it across the way. I'll do it across the way. I've only ever done this in a couple of guitars. Just a case. It's really, the only thing that's annoying. I'm sure I had a big wide roll of it at some point. It was like, you know, that wide, you know, gaffer tape wide, but I don't know what happened to it. Just change my mind. So I'll just do it like that, like that, like that. No one's a. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just chop away at it using wee bits. No, it's when it folds over on itself and you end up having to throw a bit away. That's why I'm doing it in wee bits. It's really annoying. Like that. See, it's folded over on itself. When it's on the big sheet, that happens and you end up losing big chunks. I was actually going to think of wrapping shielding round the actual coils, but I mean, you may as well just do it around the thing. This is probably a bad thing for my timescape of getting this base to run. But the battery's in. I can just put everyone back together again. It's just at this point, I'm sitting there going, well, if I'm going to foil it, I've got to take the pickups out. And the pickups are out, so I just super glued back together a bit of split on the plastic, the bobbin as well. Sort it. Right, I've not left enough room for a hole for the wires to come through, but I'll be able to poke them through with a screwdriver. It'll be fine. That's the bit I didn't route that bit. Oh. This bit here, that was not my routing. It's been chisel routed at some point previously. Mine's normally a bit neater than that. Not a lot neater than that, but a bit. Yeah, so I was just thinking of the shielding. It's like the reason I did have slight errors with the shielding earlier on was because of the wire had come off the bridge. But with a fuzz pedal, I would rather over shield. That's not quite good anyway, is it? Yeah. So I might as well just do the whole shebang. I'll do the underside of the scratch plate as well, so when it goes on top it'll just be like a pure super seal. I don't even know what I'm really doing. I've got no plan for this, but bastard, it means I've got to do that and I've got to do this as well while I'm at it, doesn't it? I'm not going to shield the battery compartment. Not that I think you need to shield the battery compartment, but whether or not it's a good idea, it's not getting done. This is where it's very difficult not just to go, oh, I'll just keep going until it's absolutely perfect, and I honestly don't think it makes that much difference. Having wee gaps in it to let the electricity through. You know, it's a shielded plate. I do want to just like that. That'll do. Who's ever going to see this? Nobody but me. Oh no, I suppose you see it, so you can see it. It now looks nicely shielded all the way around there. I do have issues with this. I kind of don't. I'm not going to go anywhere near this jack socket. It's going to be unshielded. Which is probably a bit stupid, but it has to be done. Right, I'll just do this one now. Oh, this one's got to be. Oh, this is going to be hard to do. This has got to go on the inside because I can't go over the edge here because there's no scratch plate. I remember going into B&Q trying to buy slug tape, because that was, you know, slug tape, same stuff, it's just copper. The slugs don't like going on copper, so you can put it around your plants and the slugs will just avoid it. Something to do with static electricity build-up, I think. But I mean, it's like one of these things that any amount of shielding, I mean, the humbucker's already... It's a Dean for a heavy metal base humbucker, so it's already shielded to the gubbins anyway, but I just figure for the 2 minutes it takes, I can tell you fully shielded. It just means that if, when I put this all together, the fuzz just buzzes like mad and doesn't really work, I don't go, oh, I should have shielded it. At least now I know that shielding it wouldn't have made any difference. Also, you'll see, if you look in the sides, it's like, looking in the air vents, you'll see wee bits of copper shield, and you go, oh, that looks expensive. I don't know. I suppose I'll try and put one around the inside just because there's a gap there. Can't let it, might as well make it airtight as well as electricity tight. I've got other guitars I should have been doing, not this one, but well, sometimes you just get a... Yeah, I just like, it's like, I just get a bit carried away and I actually really enjoy it. It's like, that's why I do this. I want to be doing different stuff. Stuff that's... Oh, what's that going to sound like? That's what I find exciting. But I suppose we're getting to the point where you're going to go, oh, is that a good idea to have a fuzz pedal on a bass? And we'll find out. I don't mind a little bit of that showing through. That'll make it. I'm not going to do the pedal cavity. Sod that. Bit too much like effort. It's quite malleable stuff though. At the exact moment he says it becomes not malleable anymore. I suppose I should probably run a wire to it as well, really, shouldn't I? I don't like it. How can I do that without putting any effort in? I don't want to be putting any effort in. There must be a way of... how do I run a bit of wire through it? I just run a bit of wire through it, don't I? What if I got a bit of guitar string and just stuck it through and then sellotaped it to the bottom of this one? That would earth it, wouldn't it? I've also got to somehow get an earth wire from there. I've got a hole to drill before I do any of that, actually. Right, so that's that stage of the first attempt at thing, mate. What I've got, this will be connected to the bottom of the scratch plate, which will connect under there and be earthed with the pots. This I'm going to have to run another wire somewhere. Oh, I could maybe what if I just run the bridge earth wire from the bridge straight onto that thing, mate, and then use that as the main earth. All sorted. See you soon. 10 to 4. Less than 4 hours to the live stream. It's going to be playing. It would be different if I didn't know the bass played anyway. It'll be playing in some fashion. So now I've put a guitar string through. I extended these holes back so I could get the bridge further back, which I hope I'm still going to be able to fit. Might be able to see the holes at the front, but I'm hoping if I can knock that back to there, there even. Whoa, that'd be awesome. That's where it was before. Where was it before? It was there before. So I want it even further back. There. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Plenty of room. Yep. So got the bass string coming through. It's now touching the bottom of this thing, which I'm just going to put another wee bit of tape on just to seal it up before I put the pickup in. And it's just coming into this cavity, so I'll use that as my main earth. I suppose there's not really any point in having like an earth actually connected to the pot, seeing as everything's going to be earthed. Or if you're American, grounded. I've just checked continuity, and that's that. So that's that pocket shielded. So time for the humbucker to go back in. Oh, I was going to put in better screws. I didn't like these ones. Can I be bothered looking for better screws? Right, so I'm not going to put better screws on. Did I have a problem poking this guitar through, this lead through a not very big hole last time? I seem to remember doing that. Oh, come on. Is it because that guitar string's in the way? Kind of looks like it might be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the guitar string through after it. It's not a very big hole. I wish all guitar makers would just drill the hole bigger than you need to. I mean, how much extra does it cost? Obviously, this just had a jazz bass pickup, so it only had like like a wire and a shield, and then I've stuck a humbucker in, so it's now 2 wires and a shield. But I don't think I remember having this much difficulty getting it in last time. Did it maybe just need poked? Is it maybe jammed up with sawdust or something? Feeling this, I can always snip it. I'm lazy, can't be bothered redoing the soldering on the end if I can avoid it. And I've still got to get the... Right, so it's getting drilled bigger. Hey, so that's the end of part 3. Coming up part 4. Been chopping away at it. As you can see, it's the fidgety bits, things that don't say long to say. You think, oh, I'll just, adjust it. I'll just put a bit of foam behind that pickup to make it higher, so now the strings can hit off it, so I can adjust it, so I'm happy. But it's just like, it does take time, and it's just like all these ideas and stuff. It's like, especially when you're doing it the first time. I just don't think you could do this commercially, because you could possibly, the amount of time it takes, you've got to just be a hobbyist doing it yourself. Anyhow, so part 4 coming up soon. Like and subscribe, by the way. I should have put this in a playlist, and I'm not really sure exactly what this is going to end up looking like at the end. I'm doing this a different way this time. It depends how bored I can get. I'd like to get video 1 out tonight, though, on Monday, if that was possible. Possibly. Rocking. See you next episode.